Hello guys, welcome back to Tech Savior. So in the last two videos we covered two things. The first video was based on how to make an app bar. So we made these app bar on the first video and on the second video based on the filter I showed you how to install these icon buttons on your app bar. So in this is actually a third part on the basics of Flutter. In this video we are gonna cover one thing, which is the drawers. So the drawers are something which we slide from the side of the app bar, and we are gonna make that on here in the Flutter application. So coming back to our VS Code, and to these to be work, you have to type these inside the scaffold. So let us start with our argument, which is drawer. Then we have to call our function uh, drawer, and yeah. So just by calling the function drawer, the Flutter installs a drawer icon out here, and when we press that, a drawer pops out. And currently it is pretty blank. We haven't done anything towards that. So just by calling the drawer function, we get two things. One is the drawer icon starts to appear in the app bar, and when you press that, a blank drawer appears. And now let us move into our next part, which is we are going to add certain things into the drawer. How to add the needed things into the drawer. The first thing that I'm going to add is an box where it shows the current users name, email ID, and actually an circle picture avatar of theirs, and then some options to down of that. Let me get started with that. uh, so all the things that I like to put inside the drawer, I normally put it inside an list view. So the list view help us to list out the things which we have to show inside the drawers. And to before calling the list view, you have to call in the child function of the drawer. Then the list view, the list view, we have to give the option children. So everything which you have to get type inside the list view has to be inside the children widget. And as I said, the first thing that I required is an box where it says the user's email ID, name, and a circle avatar of his or her. So let us get started with that. We have a function which is known as user account drawer header. So call this function. This function takes two parameters. One is the account name and account email. So it corresponds to account name is the person, the name of that person, and account email is the email ID of that person. For sake of now, I'm gonna type everything as a static. When you have to build your application, you have to type it everything as to be a dynamic. In the future videos, I will be showing you how to uh, type everything in a dynamic matter. So let us get started with these. The first parameter that I need to type in is the account name. Then I give it is the text. Then as I said, I'm typing everything as static right now, and give it a name. We'll give it as a test, and by syncing that, yes. So currently we have a box where it says just a test. So this is the name of the person who is using the application right now. The next parameter that I like to type in is the account email. Again, give it a text function, and leave it with the email ID of the user. I just test@g.com. Okay. By syncing that, currently we have the name of the user, which is test, and his email ID, which is test@g.com. In the future video, I will be showing you how to make these a dynamic way. And the next thing that I like to add is that I need a circle avatar in the above of these all things. In order to do that, you have to call in an parameter known as current account picture. Inside these current account picture, you have to call another function which is known as circle avatar. So now we just have a circle avatar popped out over there. Inside this circle avatar, you can give anything that you require. Normally, it will be the picture of the person who have been signed in right now. Their account pictures will be visible out there. I'll be covering those in the future video, how to add image into your Flutter and how to make that appear out here. For now, just I'm gonna leave the child of that as a text. Let us call it as a T, and by syncing that, a small T appears out there. And as normal, you can call in a decoration box function, and every these colors are actually customizable for you. I'll be covering those all in the future video. So if you want to see all those videos, please consider subscribing towards the channel. It will be helping me a lot. So currently what we are done with the drawer is that we have a box where a user name has been appeared, a user's email ID has been appeared, and for now we have just left the circle avatar with a text, just T. Now we need some options below these. In order to show those options, you have to exit the user account drawer head. We don't require that anymore. Put a comma over there, and that's done out there. Now you have to call another function inside the children widget of the list view widget of the list view. It is known as list tile. Call this function in. This function takes three parameters, which is the first one could be leading, the next could be the title, and the another one is known as descending, I think. Oh, sorry, trailing. So three parameters. One is the leading, the next one is the title, and we have the trailing. So let me show you how these things works. So I'm gonna type in the first parameters, which is the leading. So the leading takes normally we leave the leading with an icon. So let us call the function icon, then icons dot, let us give it with something, and now if I sync, yeah, a little accessibility icon showed up there. And the second parameter this take is the title. So again a text for that, and we will leave it as a test 2. So we currently have an icon and a label for that. So as I said, it takes three things: the leading, title, and the trailing. So if you leave an icon with the leading, it appears before the text, or it appears at the first. If you leave an icon with an trailing, it leaves the icon at the last. Let me show you an also an example with the trailing. So as normal, we call in another list tile. This time I will leave the title as test 3, and I'm not gonna give the icon inside the leading. Other than that, I'm gonna leave the icon inside the trailing parameter. So inside the trailing icons dot will take something. So in the trailing, this is the difference between the leading and the trailing. So the leading puts the icon in front of everything, so it appears at the first. If you leave the icon inside the trailing, it appears at the last. So this is the difference between two of these. So that's it, guys. We have covered some very basics of the drawers. I'll be covering more and more about these things in the future. The next video will be how to change the colors inside these and how to add an image also. So consider subscribing to the channel if you want to see more videos. Actually, this is my third installment in the inside the Flutter basics. If you haven't watched the first two videos, please go back, watch those. It will be helping you to get started with the Flutter. So thanks for viewing, guys. Have a nice day.